Welcome to the Visiting Nurses Foundation Annual Celebration of Life. My name is Jackie Jewell. I'm the Executive Director of the Visiting Nurses Foundation, and this is my third Celebration of Life as part of this team, but it's my first in person. And the last several have been super special. This event is just so touching, but last year it really became more personal for me and my family. Because we lost someone very close to us. Oh my goodness. And because we were virtual, I was able to kind of hide some of my emotions. So I was a little nervous coming today because this is such an emotional event, but I can't help but feel very comforted to share this space with all of you today because we're all here for the same reason, and that's because we miss someone that we love. And I'm just very grateful that you are allowing Visiting Nurses to be a part of your family's celebration and honoring your loved one this holiday season. So thank you for being here today. And I'd like to introduce Karen Monroe. She's with Assured Hospice, right? A musical therapist, which is part of our comfort therapy program that we partner with Assured. So please welcome Karen. So if these last couple of years haven't taught us how to be flexible, I don't know what ever will. And today, Newell Horlings is our event sponsor, and Melinda Wilson so badly wanted to be here today, but unfortunately fell ill this morning. So I will be reading on her behalf, and she would like to share this message on behalf of Newell Horlings. Hello, my name is Melinda Wilson, manager of Newell Horlings Mortuary in Centralia. I want to welcome you to our 2022 Celebration of Life, which marks the end of another year and the beginning of a new one. I'd like to thank Visiting Nurses Director Jackie Jewell for putting this event together this afternoon, Karen Monroe for the beautiful music she played this afternoon, and for Tom Bradshaw for the inspirational words he will share with us in a moment. As we approach the holidays, we are reminded that it's a time to celebrate family and friends and the many wonderful things in our lives. For many of us, it is also a time to remember the people important to us, both those who are with us and those we wish were with us. It is a time to reflect on the past year and think of all the things that have happened and how we came to be where we are today. Some of you might not feel like celebrating. I've talked to a few folks this year that said they don't even feel like putting up a tree or decorating at all, and that is okay. Remember to be patient with yourself, feel whatever it is you need to feel, and take time for self-care this Christmas season. Grief comes in waves of intensity, and it is important to be patient with yourself. The holiday season can be particularly intense, but you are not alone. I hope that these words help you navigate the holiday season and beyond. Regarding your loved one, purchase or make a personalized ornament, share memories, and look at old photos. Volunteer in your loved one's memory for a cause they would have believed in. Hang a stocking on the mantle for them. Listen to or sing their favorite songs, or leave a candle or an empty chair at the holiday table in their honor. Reach out to family and friends who may want to help, but aren't sure what to say or do. Encourage them to talk with you about your loved one and share stories. Grief is not about getting over it. It's about learning how to live with it and doing what you can to honor their life and the impact they made on you. So that is from Melinda from Newell Horlings. And she would like to introduce Tom Bradshaw to share an inspirational message with all of us. Tom.
Privileged to be with you. Again, I'm Tom Bradshaw. I'm a grief support specialist and a chaplain with Assured Hospice. And it's been a privilege to meet some of you in the room and support you as your loved one was on hospice care this past year. We're grateful for that privilege. I'd like to start off with an old Christmas carol. It goes like this. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. What just happened with that song? I mean, it started off with peace on earth, goodwill, and wild and sweet. And all of a sudden it turned to despair. What's going on there? Well, that song was written Christmas Day in 1863 by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I don't think any of us were around in 1863. A couple of you, I kind of wonder, maybe, but I don't think so. But do you know what was going on in 1863? Yes, the Civil War. It was a terrible time in our nation. You can learn a lot more about it downstairs, I'm sure. That probably had something to do, well, I know it had something to do with his going from wild and sweet Christmas time to despair as he reflected on what was going on in his world on that day. But there's more to the story than that. You see, Mr. Longfellow had experienced a whole lot of grief, especially the last couple of years before that song. He'd seen one tragedy after another. The sweetheart of his youth, his first wife, Mary Potter, died at the age of 22 after suffering a miscarriage with their first child. Longfellow's heart was broken, but after a while he was ready to love again, and after 7 years of persistent courtship, he finally got his second wife, Fanny Elizabeth Appleton, to say yes. Together they had 6 children, but one of them passed away as a toddler. Well, then as the years went by, Henry was doing pretty well in his career as a professor at Harvard, but then in 1861, tragedy struck again. His wife, Fanny, perished in a fire in their home. He tried to rescue her. He was badly burned in the process, but she was so severely burned that she could not survive. She died the next day. And Henry couldn't even attend the funeral because of his wounds. And he bore scars from that event the rest of his life, both physical and emotional scars. He fell into deep depression and struggled to go on with life. But he had 5 children to care for, so somehow he managed to keep going. On Christmas Day in 1862, he wrote these words in his journal. "Merry Christmas, say the children, but that is no more for me." In 1863, more heartache would come. His oldest son, Charlie, wanted so badly to join the war effort. But Henry wouldn't grant permission. He couldn't bear the thought of losing his firstborn son. But Charlie was a determined young man. He left home and enlisted in the Union Army anyway. And he left his father a note that said, "I have tried hard to resist the temptation of going without your leave, but I cannot any longer. I feel it to be my first duty to do what I can for my country, and I would willingly lay down my life for it. God bless you all. Yours affectionately, Charlie." Well, after serving a few months early in 1863, Charlie fell ill with camp fever, and he was sent home to recover. While he was home, his fellow soldiers, many of them, died in the Battle of Gettysburg. Charlie was spared, but he soon returned to the war in August of 1863. And Henry worried greatly about his son, and he prayed for his safety. Well, on December 1st, 1863, Henry got a telegram. It said his son Charlie had been severely wounded. He'd been shot, and the bullet had nicked his spine, and it was feared that he would never walk again. And Charlie was sent home to recuperate. And it was that December, that Christmas Day in 1863, when his son came home wounded from the Civil War, that Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote, "I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men, and in despair I bowed my head." He said. No wonder he changed his tune from wild and sweet to despair. But you know, that wasn't the end of the story. That wasn't even the end of the song. There's another verse. After bowing his head in despair, Longfellow lifts his head and writes these words, "Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men." And he was right. And though the war raged on for another 16 months, and there would be much tragedy and loss, eventually, once again, there was peace on earth, goodwill to men. You see, Mr. Longfellow had hope. He knew that the sadness and losses and struggles of his life were not the end of the story. There was still faith, hope, love, joy, peace, and goodwill. Well, what about us? What about you and me today? Some of us have had it hard, really hard, the last couple of years. We've said goodbye to loved ones. We've struggled with illness and suffered loss in many ways. And now all around us we're hearing joy to the world and Merry Christmas. I mean, Burl Ives is telling us over and over again to have a holly jolly Christmas, when we'd rather hang out with Elvis and have a blue Christmas. The only Christmas songs we can think of are songs like, all I want for Christmas is you, but I can't have you anymore. Santa, bring my baby back to me. We miss our loved ones so much. And like Longfellow, we want to bow our heads in despair sometimes, but there's reason for hope. As the days may be dark right now, we're in the darkest days of the year, just weather-wise. But soon the solstice is coming. Soon the light will shine more and more and more each day. Grief will give way to gratitude, and sadness will diminish, and joy will increase. Many of us value the words of Jesus, and we're told that he said to his followers one day, "These things have I spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In this world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world." We're told that light shines in the darkness, and darkness cannot overcome it. Ancient Jewish texts, which Christians revere as well, they tell us there's always reason to hope. One passage spoken by a prophet who was struggling with despair tells us this. He says, "This I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness." Another passage reminds us that weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. This past year may have been hard for us, but today is a new day, and a new year awaits us, and there will be brighter days ahead. In a few moments, we'll be lighting candles in memory of our loved ones. May the light that shines remind us that light and love overcome darkness and despair. And may we welcome the warmth of that light into our hearts this holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I look forward to your message every year. Thank you. So we are going to begin our candle lighting ceremony. I'd like to invite our executive assistant, Sheila Minkoff. I would like to invite one of you, from when your loved one's name is read aloud, to come up, and Sheila will help you light the candle. Emma Lou Anderson. Jim Bamford. Pat Basil. Wilma Bell. Cindy Burchell. Ray D. Blake. Ruby Bochi. Eileen Bose. Gerald Bose. June Bradshaw. Eugene James Bradner. Irene Britton. Smokey Bush. Catherine Busker. Donald Cardwell. Morris Coleman. Charles Cook. Douglas and Doris Crawford. Edward Chrysler. Sherry Davidson. Edith Days. DeMoy, Pete and Elsie DeVries, Darlene Eklund, Glenn Eklund, Rosalind Erickson, Ira E. Eskridge, Freeman D. Freeman, Robin Freeman, Butch Garsky, Ruth Gosson, Burley Graham, Evelyn Haas, Margaret and George Hamilton, Chuck Hammer, David L. Help, James R. Irwin, Sergeant Leandro Antonio Sleeper Giotto, Leo Jensen, William Jewell, James H. Johnston, Rebecca Ketchum. Anthony Ketchum Jr. James Culp. Jerry Page LaFord. Julie Latimer. Francis Lorela. Neil LeDuc. George and Helen Locke. James B. McMillan III, MD. Marcus Ole Evan Franklin Mathis. Marcia Mowell. Van F. McDaniel. Douglas Minkoff. Jolene Moe. James H. Morgan. Catherine Nordstrom. Mr. Stuart Olson. Norm Osborne. Dave Palmer. Tom Plant. Charles A. Powell. Gilbert Prosky. Deanne Putman, Dick Rom, Melissa Richardson, Harlan Riedel, Lloyd Riedel, Bob and Beverly Harding, Dawn Roberts, David Allen Ross, Barbara L. Shea, George R. Shepard, Bob and Lorraine Sigel, Sarah Slape, Stacy Smith, DeWitt Spear, JB Spear, Helen Stedham, Ken Stedham, Lorna Stedham, Verna Steele, Marion Stover, Marlene Stover, Daniel E. Sweezy, William Thorne, Grace Trentledge, Russell Trentledge Sr., Amy and Herb Truesdell, Harold Vassar, Samantha Walker, Bob Whitmire, Darlene Marie Weissner, Clyde Wood, Dwayne Wood, Herb Yantis, Wow. Well, that concludes our candle lighting ceremony. It's powerful, and I appreciate you all being here. I would encourage you to come take a look at all the lit candles, because it really is beautiful. And I just thank you again on behalf of the Visiting Nurses Foundation and our partners at Assured Hospice, as well as our event sponsor, Noah Horlings, for being here today and allowing us to honor your loved ones. It truly is magical, so thank you for letting us share that with you. So please come take a look at the table. We've got several board members here that will help you find your ornaments on the tree, and you're welcome to take those home with you today. And then Newell Horlings has provided some light refreshments, so please take part in that, and we'd be happy to share some stories of your loved ones and spend some time with you. So thank you again for being here today.